Welcome, welcome, welcome! We are so excited that you have chosen to take a class with us. Whether you are here to start your career, change your career, or you just want to enhance what you are already doing, you have come to the right place. Welcome.
As we get started with our course, we want to make sure that you understand all of the expectations that we have for you, and we want you to also understand what you can expect from us during your class. So we are going to go through the student handbook. We don't want any of this to be a surprise to you, so that's why we've created the handbook. We place this handbook in several locations, and hopefully you've seen it before now. When you registered for the class, we had a link in that email for you to take you directly to the website. If you had any problems getting to it, you can always go to our website directly at www.laurelridgeworkforce.com/HNTK. The HNTK stands for Healthcare Need to Know. If you joined one of our free healthcare information sessions, we also briefly pointed out the location there too. Then, if somehow you made it to the class without seeing all of this, we are going to review it in this first class. We want to make sure everyone is all on the same page.
This short video is going to give you a highlight of all of the areas in the handbook. However, you will want to look at your specific class requirements in your class handbook. We're going to talk in general terms about all of the areas for all of the healthcare classes. A lot of the information is the same across the board with all of the classes. So, after this video is over, your instructor will review any specific details that might have been missed or that need to be pointed out that pertain specifically to your class. In order to be admitted and be successful in our classes and on your certification exam, if that applies, you will want to have your GED or high school diploma or be within 12 months of getting it. You will also need to be able to pay for your class in order to be registered for it. That is the only way that we can hold your spot in the class. Most of our fast-forward classes require you to be able to read and comprehend at a minimum of a 10th grade reading level. We do not require any testing to prove this, so you will need to self-assess that you are able to be at this level. There is a lot of reading and studying throughout these courses in order to learn the material. You also need to be able to have computer and internet access and know the basics of using a computer. There is no way we can teach you all of those skills on top of the course content, so you need to come with those skills ahead of time. Having a computer and internet access means that if we have bad weather or if there is an emergency, that you will be able to access a Zoom call quickly. Many healthcare jobs require basic computer use, so we like to incorporate the use of those skills within the class. Everything that we do relates directly to the workforce in these classes. We truly want you to be successful. And that's a perfect transition to our attendance policy. The number one reason why people are fired is because of absences and tardies in the workplace. We want you to have good habits and time management skills before you get to your future employer. So we do have a pretty strict attendance policy. And yet, it's still pretty lenient considering you would not be allowed to miss that many days in your work environment in the same amount of time on a job, especially if you're just starting out. So we want each of you to understand our policy loud and clear. Being tardy more than 10 minutes or leaving early to class will count as an absence. It's incredibly disruptive to the class and to your instructor when you come late to class. In case of an emergency or illness that will result in an absence, students are to contact your instructor prior to the class start, just like you would do on a job. Don't ask your fellow classmates to tell the instructor. It is your responsibility to let the instructor know in advance of the class. Otherwise, they are expecting you to be there. If externships are offered for your program, Please be aware that you can only have so many absences before you forfeit that opportunity. An absence for a Saturday class will count as 2 missed classes, as it is really 2 classes combined. Missing more than the allotted amount will result in you being dismissed from the program, and you will be financially responsible for any additional costs if you use grant funding as a payment for your class. It is recommended that you save your absences to use in case of an emergency or illness. There is no distinction between excused and unexcused absences, so use your absences wisely in case an emergency occurs. A good motto is this: plan to be in every class. Don't plan to be gone. Students will be required to make up any missed work, including missing exams, quizzes, or skills assessments. Failure to do so will result in a grade of a 0 for those assignments. If a lecture is posted online, students will be required to complete this. The bottom line is this: we cover a lot of information in a short period of time, and you cannot afford to miss time or you will quickly get behind. We want you to be successful, and you have to be there to get the information.
If you need accommodations, these should be taken care of before you even start the class. It can take some time to get all of your documentation approved. Accommodations are not retroactive, so if you don't have them in place, they will not become effective until they are in place, and we cannot go back to previous tests or homework that this could apply to. If you need accommodations for your certification exam, those will have to be submitted at least 30 days in advance of the exam. This has to go through the certifying body and has nothing to do with Laurel Ridge. When it comes to your education, you have to be your own advocate about what you need. We have no way of knowing until all of the documentation is in order what will be needed. We cannot grant special requests based on a written or verbal request from you. It has to all be done through the disability office. If you go to the college website, www.laurelridge.edu, and search for the Office of Accommodations, you will see all of the information you will need in order to get started. For all fast-forward classes, a certification exam will be at the end of your course. These are generally offered on the Laurel Ridge campus where you took the course. If the course is an online class, you will likely have the option to test through live remote proctoring. These are usually held within a week of the end of the class. All of those details will be given to you by your instructor. If you need to retest, it will be at your expense. We communicate with students about emergency or weather notifications through our Laurel Ridge Alert System. If you haven't already signed up for this, please go to www.laurelridge.edu and search for alerts. This will give you the correct link to register your information. Please feel free to pause this video to make sure that everyone does this. We want to make sure that everyone in the class has this feature all set up. You could also text the word Laurel Alert, all one word, to 226787. If the Office of Workforce Solutions needs to contact you, we'll do this through the email address you created when you registered for your class. Please make sure your email and phone number are all up to date in the system. Your instructor will also share their contact information with you so that you can reach them throughout the course.
We want to make sure that you are as engaged in the class as you can possibly be. So please be respectful to your instructor and other students and only use electronics, including your phone, when you are asked to. Now, if you're taking notes or if a game is a part of the class and you need to use a device, that's fine. But please don't be working on homework during lecture time. Again, think of this as your future job. You will not be able to text and take phone calls whenever you want while you are working with patients. Put your phone on silent and tell your family and friends when you are in class. You can even turn on the Do Not Disturb function so that you aren't even tempted to touch your device while in class. Again, we want you to be prepared for your future workplace, and we want you to start looking the part now. Come prepared just like you were going to work. If your class requires scrubs, then they should fit correctly, be clean, and wrinkle-free. Please be aware that you are working closely with classmates and you need to be free of body odors and strong perfumes. If you need help with getting scrubs, please talk with your instructor. There are many places like Goodwill and the Salvation Army that you can always pick up some pretty affordably, but we know other students may also need more assistance, so please talk with your instructor if you need more help. Although smoking is permitted in designated areas on campus, it is a good practice to refrain from smoking during the workday or class time. You will be in direct contact with patients, some of whom may have medical conditions that cause sensitivity to cigarette smoke, such as asthma or migraines. Please also be aware that the majority of healthcare facilities do not allow smoking on site, and some employers do not even hire candidates who use tobacco products. Students are free to make up their own choice in regards to the use of tobacco products. We only wish to inform you about the potential limitations that smoking may place on your career goals. If you are pregnant before or become pregnant during a class that is doing any type of clinicals as a part of the course, it is expected that the student notify the instructor of the pregnancy in order to protect the welfare and safety of the student. Pregnant students may continue in the program with a written physician approval and permission of the externship site if that's appropriate. Susceptibility to CMV should be tested at the student's expense, as the continued clinical involvement will expose the student to blood, urine, and other bodily fluids. Non-immunity to CMV increases the risk to the fetus, and continuation in the course should be considered carefully.
If you have a concern about something you have observed or heard that may give you concern about another student, impact the safety of your environment, or disrupt the delivery of our educational process, we encourage you to fill out a See Something, Say Something report form. This is found at www.laurelridge.edu. Just search for the word See Something, Say Something, and click on that tab. If you find yourself in need of additional support throughout your course, please check out our www.laurelridge.edu/WeCare website for more information. We offer food assistance, financial assistance, mental health resources, and so much more. Don't wait to reach out if you need help.
Once you have viewed this video and your instructor has shared any other additional information, we ask that you sign the final pages of this document. By signing this handbook, you are agreeing that you read and understood what's in the handbook. You will also need to sign the assumption of risk form if it pertains to your class. I did not go over this document word for word, so you will need to make sure that you take the time to read it carefully for your specific class.
Again, please know that we want you to be successful both in class and in your future employment. If some of the applications that we use for your class still seem foreign to you, like Canvas or Zoom, or you've never had an online or hybrid class before, we have additional resources available for you. For Canvas, you can reach out to the laurelridge.edu/canvas-resources website for all kinds of information, including tutorials.
Thank you again and welcome. We wish you the best as you move throughout your course.